Welcome to HFS_finance, your go-to channel for all things finance and global trade. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that affects countries and economies worldwide: the strategic importance of key maritime routes and how it impacts international trade. So, grab your notepads and get ready to explore. Did you know that a significant portion of global trade passes through vital maritime routes? One such crucial route is the Maldive Strait. Located off the coast of Cebu, it connects the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean, Persian Gulf, and serves as a gateway for Asian exports bound for Western markets. In fact, between 125% and 20% of all global trade passes through this route alone. That's mind-boggling, isn't it? But why is this relevant? Well, as China's economic power grew, it started making moves to set itself free from the island chain in the Pacific. This, in turn, left many Pacific Ocean countries concerned that China might be preparing for increased aggression and bullying, especially near Taiwan and the South China Sea. It's not just the first island chain that China is targeting, it's also building up strength to overcome the second island chain, stretching from Japan to Guam and the islands of Micronesia. Visual graphics showing the first and second island chains. If China establishes a strong presence in the second island chain, it would give them significant control over the middle of the Pacific, serving as both a strategic military outpost and an economic hub. With the US's withdrawal from the Trans-Pacific Partnership in 2017, China saw an opportunity to fill the vacuum and expand its influence in the Western Pacific. However, it's not going to be an easy task for China. The U.S. has agreements with island states like Micronesia, Palau, and the Marshall Islands through the Compact of Free Association. These agreements grant the U.S. exclusive access to their land, sea, and air routes. Despite China's economic investments and promises of infrastructure development, these Pacific Island nations remain traditionally tied to the U.S., making it difficult for China to establish a military presence without a strategic basing. So, what does all of this mean? China's actions in the South China Sea have left the USA with two choices: either strengthen the first island chain to regain the advantage in a deterrent strategy, or prioritize protecting American allies in the Pacific and strategically reinforcing their presence in the region. Unsurprisingly, America has ramped up its efforts to reinforce the first island chain, safeguarding its allies' interests. This year, the U.S. Marine Corps marked the opening of a new base on Guam, the first new Marine base since 1952. This base is charged with deterring and detecting threats, but it also serves as a hub for training Marines to protect Pacific Islands and vital sea lanes in the event of an invasion. Moreover, the U.S. reached an agreement with the Philippines, granting them access to 4 military camps in the country. While it doesn't establish permanent U.S. military bases, it allows for the rotation of troops for various missions, including training, humanitarian aid, and military exercises. These strategic deployments help strengthen the U.S. presence both in the disputed regions of the South China Sea and the crucial Taiwan Strait, but the U.S. hasn't stopped there. They also increased their deployment of advanced military assets to the Korean Peninsula, including fighter jets and aircraft carriers. This move aims to enhance joint training and planning with Japan, aligning their forces to counter any potential Chinese incursion into Taiwan or ELACs in the South or East China Sea. Furthermore, the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty now includes a formal mention of outer space, reinforcing that attacks from and within space could trigger mutual defense provisions. Beyond strengthening military alliances, the U.S. has also been busy diplomatically. In an effort to counter China's growing influence, the U.S. reopened its embassy in the Solomon Islands. This strategic move reveals the U.S.'s commitment to maintaining a presence in the region and preventing any potential military buildup by Beijing. Now, let's shift our focus to India. As China's influence expands, India has recognized the need to safeguard its economic interests and counter China's military strategies. Experts have pointed out that China's Belt and Road Initiative not only serves as a geo-economic plan but also has military strategic advantages. China's investments in dual-use ports, known as the String of Pearls, surrounding India, could potentially choke off India's access to the global trade network. Understanding the potential risks, India has crafted its own strategy to neutralize China's influence. They have formed alliances, aptly named the Necklace of Diamonds, which involve expanding naval bases and enhancing relations with strategically placed countries. For instance, India partnered with Singapore and Indonesia, gaining access to their naval bases of Changi and Sabang, respectively. This increased India's influence and control over the Strait of Malacca, a vital choke point for Chinese trade. Additionally, India secured military access to the port of Duke in Oman, conveniently located between important Chinese pearls Djibouti in Africa and Gwadar in Pakistan. By extending its presence into Central Asia, India has developed credit lines and bilateral air corridors with countries like Mongolia. These diplomatic efforts reinforce India's economic interests and further bolster its influence in the region. It's evident that India, like the US, is deeply invested in countering China's growing influence and protecting its economic interests. By taking advantage of China's trade war with the USA, India seeks to use its manufacturing prowess to challenge and mitigate China's dominance in the international market. In conclusion, the strategic importance of maritime routes and the power dynamics surrounding them shape the global economy and influence international relations. Understanding these complexities helps us comprehend the motivations behind countries like China, the USA, and India as they maneuver to secure their interests and protect their allies. Thank you for joining us on this illuminating journey through the intricate web of maritime routes and global trade dynamics. Make sure to subscribe to HFS_finance for more insightful content on finance and international relations. Until next time, remember, knowledge is power.